Hi everyone, it's Sloan Rose with your spiritual guidance for the week of December 3rd, 2017. This is for all astrological signs. It applies for each sign. Okay, so today I'm going to be drawing one card as the overarching theme from the Chakra Oracle card deck by Rochelle Sharman. It's a really beautiful deck. It's so colorful. And because I'm in the mood for a lot of color today, I'm also going to be drawing 3 cards from the numerology deck because they're also super colorful, and 1 card in the position of what your ego may try to distract you with based on the overarching theme, 1 card in the position of what your heart is asking that you explore further, and 1 card in the position of what you can look forward to or expect regardless. So let's just go ahead and get started and invite in the color. Here we go. Life Purpose. Oh, what a beautiful card. And Holistic Health under the deck, relating to the root chakra. And Life Purpose relating to how you express, through the throat chakra, your sense of purpose in the world during this week here. There may be a focus. Of course, we're going into December, which is the end of the calendar year here. And a lot of times people begin to think about where they've been throughout the year, where they're going, and they want to set intentions for the new year, the resolutions that people often do. And I feel like in the month of December, it's going to be important for you to begin to not just think it, but begin to speak it to those who you hold closest, to those who you feel you can confide in most appropriately. This is not a spewing type of energy. This is a very intentional discussion or communication that you are doing regarding how you feel a sense of purpose for the week. Now, of course, our ego, our linear conscious mind will be like, okay, but what about next year? All of 2018, how can I do it? Well, that's often extremely daunting and anxiety provoking. So for you and me and everyone throughout the week here, as we go into this week, you might want to consider, how can I live purposefully within this moment that I'm conscious of, right? So it's just bringing consciousness to as many moments as you can. And, you can say, well, perhaps in this moment I can be purposeful in my words, rather than just saying whatever comes to your mind. Or even on social media. Am I just scrolling through, liking everything without any thought to it? Or can I intentionally, with a sense of purpose, like the things that bring my heart joy? But I'll get additional cards from the numerology deck. But this is one of the ways that we can begin to live more purposefully and connect more to our sense of purpose, as opposed to trying to find our sense of purpose one day out there. If I do this and this and I create this list, it really is about finding it in the present moment, being more purposeful and intentional within each and every moment that you can, that you remember, or that you are conscious of. Then that begins to create momentum upon it, where you are beginning to feel more purposeful throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month. All right. And I do have a podcast episode on life purpose. That is not a tarot reading or an oracle card reading. It's just about life purpose and how to connect to it more. And you can listen to that on Apple Podcasts or SoundCloud. And I also have it here on the YouTube channel under selected podcast episodes. So you might find that helpful, or not. Okay, and then we have the Holistic Health under the deck. Beautiful color, reminding us to take care of our sense of safety and security in the world. Again, you can do this more and more by how you feel purposeful, in each and every moment. The more that you are consciously directing your intentions and your purpose, the more that you do begin to feel more purposeful, more solid, more secure and safe in the world, because you're not feeling as though you are a victim to circumstance and just, I have to do this and this and this. You're doing things with the intention of what makes you happy in that moment, what makes your heart sing, what brings you a sense of peace or serenity. And for you, because it's related to the throat chakra during this week, again, as often as you can, how can you speak that truth as well, or communicate it more clearly? Thank you for that. you know, and actually look at the server. You know, say you get to a restaurant, a lot of times, well, thanks, you know, you don't really pay attention, but, you know, oh, look at the individual who's serving you, you know, thank you, I appreciate that. You know, someone opens the door for you rather than just gliding on through, thank you, you know, or a nod or something like that. It even goes with what doesn't feel safe in the world, right? You know, this holistic health, this holistic looking at the entirety, the wholeness of your life, of your moment, right? And speaking your truth. Like, I don't appreciate when you speak to me like that. I'm not available for those types of conversations. Say someone wants to just gossip. You're like, you know, you can either just walk away or you can communicate it purposefully. I'm not available for those kinds of conversations right now, you know, and you can, even with your body language, turn away, or, you know, the more that you begin to play it, look at it like a game, the more it takes on its own life and joy. And life becomes more joyful. Okay, let's get some cards. So based on life purpose is the overarching theme. I'm going to just say one more thing because a lot's coming up here. We have the number on this card is 22. 2 + 2 = 4. Again, going back to that sense of safety and security. Contracts being kept, right? You have a contract. You have many contracts that you agreed to when you came down in this incarnation. And part of it is to be purposeful. How do you express your sense of purpose? You can't do it wrong. It's the game. Look at it like a game to be played. Okay, so what your ego may try to distract you with, what your heart is asking you to explore further, and what you can look forward to regardless. Okay. All right. So your ego may try to distract you with the karmic completion. Interesting. Your heart is asking that you explore further the spiritual partnership. What we can look forward to regardless is the spirituality. And we have compassion under the deck. One of the greatest ways to create a sense of health in your life is to be compassionate first and foremost to yourself. You know, it's one thing to go around being compassionate to others, but when you consider the self-talk or the ways that you treat your physical body or your spiritual health or your emotional health, that can be extremely damaging no matter how compassionate you are to others. It starts with self first. Remember, you're being called here during the week, this coming week, to be as purposeful as you can be and to express that. And being compassionate towards self is the first, really the foundational aspect, the root chakra, you know, the foundation of your, if you want to consider it your physical incarnation in terms of your chakra system. Okay, so your ego may try to distract you with the karmic completion card. Let me just take this in for a second. In terms of life purpose. Okay, I see it really relating to the holistic health with that red color. All right, so I'm going to say it this way. And your ego may try to distract you with this idea that things have completed or that they are unable to be completed, and therefore you're not able to live your purpose, right? So this is feeling right. So perhaps for some of you, it's that you feel that there is something that won't end, that there's some sort of karma that you are working to complete. And until you check off that box, so to speak, you can't be purposeful. You can't live out your purpose because something or someone is in the way. It's an obstacle, right? And that's never true. Our ego will convince us of that. Our ego is very adept at creating these huge distractions in our lives. So it may be for some of you that, you know, you feel as though something needs to be completed before you can finally live out your purpose. And then for others of you, it may be that you have finished something and it wasn't finished in the way that you wanted. Maybe it was a job and you're like, that job was my purpose. You know, I that was my, a lot of times when we finish something, we feel that letdown, like, oh, now what am I going to do? So your ego is trying to distract you with, now I have nothing. I finished this thing. This was my offering, and now who am I without this thing that I've been working upon? Where you have always been the essence of you, the essence of God, right? The essence of the divine. Your soul is expressing itself through a particular project or job or even a relationship. And then it comes to an end, and your ego says, okay, that you identified with that thing that is now over. And that's not true. You're absolutely so much more than that. So that may be how it can come in here. And then what your heart is asking you to explore further is the spiritual partnership. So your life purpose absolutely may include others. And it may be that you have a spiritual partnership with someone, and it may not necessarily be that the two of you are physically together, because it's referring to a spiritual partnership. And that's okay. We work energetically with other souls all the time as part of our purpose here. And sometimes it may show up in that you have a spiritual partnership with another, and your ego may identify it as this person with whom I feel I should be with, right? But you don't ever actually get with that person, but you still feel their energy. This is very common with soulmate, twin flames, karmic types of contracts you have with other souls. And then you feel like it's distracting you from your life purpose, but your heart is saying, no, look at the ways in which you have expanded and grown into your sense of purpose in the world, because it worked out exactly as it did. Maybe not being together physically, but you have grown and expanded and ignited yourself through that spiritual connection. That may be what your heart is asking you explore. You let go of the agendas of that type of spiritual partnership. It also can refer to the way in which you are connected to the divine, right? This is a spiritual guidance video. So knowing that you are connected to your guides and angels, to spirit, to the divine, to the all that is, to the universal oneness, to God, whatever, however you experience it or identify it in your own life. And so you can continually begin to seek out a sense of purpose that does feel more in alignment with your spiritual values, with your understanding of what it means to be a human, having this human experience, but knowing that you are more than that you are an eternal soul. And so you're always in partnership with spirit, because the overall outcome is the spirituality. You are deepening your spirituality. Now, I will say with 2 sevens here, there is this mysticism that goes with the 7, of course. It's deepening your understanding of what you have succeeded upon, seemingly succeeded upon already. And then the spiritual aspect comes in with the 7. Many times, in more mystical aspects with the 7, but many times there is this idea of it feels as though there's a delay. Things take their time with the 7. So don't rush anything. Even the holistic health is 7. You are building a more whole and complete life for yourself, where you feel a greater sense of purpose. But it's not one thing that provides that for you. It's within each and every moment that you can consciously connect to it as often as you can. It creates momentum and builds up to this tipping point energy where suddenly you are indeed feeling more purposeful more of the time. And it does take consciousness, of course, and it does take some effort on your part. It doesn't just usually happen to you. And but it's kind of what you're here for, right? I mean, you know it intuitively, you know it instinctively, that you're here for. Most people say, why am I here? There's always that question, what's the meaning of life? Well, from my perspective, the meaning of life is love, right? It's so simple, but how do we open to it? Where do we see it? Where do we experience it? Where do we find it? It's not that we are seeking it in something else or another. It's that we are the essence of love. We are love. We are, we are the love that we seek. And when we can recognize it more and more, we feel more purposeful, knowing that that is our mission, so to speak. Wow, I went off there. Okay, well, I hope you find that helpful. I wish you much love. I will see you next week, and this reading will also be available on the podcast if you are interested in listening to it when you're driving or doing whatever. And what else did I want to say? Oh, I do have gift certificates available on the website if you are looking last minute for a gift for somebody. So anyway, much love to you.